right, that was hive 7. We went through that with someone that's getting bees, so we went a little bit slower, but we found the queen. There's a little bit of room. She's laying in it. We have a couple 30-degree evenings coming up, so I don't want to expand this too far, but I may go ahead and put another deep on this with foundation, maybe some drawn combs, and let them just keep working on that and build that out to hold her back a little bit longer so they're not wanting to swarm. There was one queen cup on a drone frame, but there was nothing in it, so we should be okay. And then we're going to jump into hive 6 and try to get through as many of these as we can. Hive 6 had the insulation taken off. Again, cypress box. And another box here. That's the newbie box. We'll put this over here. There's a little more space. This is the one that had a much smaller population, so we're going to go ahead and take this off and check the bottom box and see what we're dealing with here. See if it's an issue. And they survived. That's the hard part. They've got lots of stores. Surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, it's a bigger hive, but they still have stores left. That one was burning through most of them. Again, I didn't check these outer ones, so there may be still some on there, but just judging by the weights, that insulation helped. Still may not be worth it, but it helped them use their own stores. Things are different for everyone, so just got to do what works for you. Just testing new ways of doing things out. Most of these boxes have actually been coming off pretty well this year. Take this off and rotate it to the side. Yeah, we're good. Go up to one side. Oh, nope. It's just the back that wants to come up. May have to give this one a good twist. Oh, there you go. Oh my gosh. That doesn't feel like... That's a lot of weight in there. That's incredible. What a surprise. Oh goodness. Okay, so that's kind of our cluster. I'm not seeing much going on down here. Yikes. See if they got a... I don't know. That looks like that was... I don't know what's going on down here. There's some bees, but not a lot. That edge of that frame looks moldy. This was definitely our... like the weakest population hive. Let's see what we get into. Too wide to pull up without breaking the cappings. Let me try to pull that next one out. It has a bit of an odor to it. I don't know what. It's like, it smells like fermented pollen to me. And there's honey. Don't see small hive beetles yet. Okay, so they ate through that area. There is some pollen in there, and it is a little moldy. And there's honey. Wonder if we have a queen issue. Maybe that's why there's not many bees in here. Try to pull this one back. Yeah, I'm not too excited about this. I'm seeing here. Well, see, that's all open, so they went through it. Again, that pollen is moldy. Still honey. I don't see anything that's fermented or messed up. I just smushed this against the side, so Broke the cappings. Yeah, all that pollen is moldy. And a strong colony should be able to deal with that. That's the smell that I'm smelling. Okay. Just gonna set that one out for now. Look at that. So we got bubbles in this, I don't know if that's nectar or what. It's open. Maybe that's fermented honey. Got honey. A little bit of bubbles in some of that. Let's see if I can get a good picture of this, because it's, oh wow, it's actually dripping out. So maybe I can shake out some of this stuff. Not looking good though. It happens. It is what it is. And I gotta just roll with it. I am gonna shake this out. Go away from the bees a little bit. Oh wow, yeah, that's disgusting. Still some more in there too. Don't like that. I'm wondering if this should be consolidated down to a single box. I am seeing some cappings. Torn capping, so I don't know if they're getting robbed. What's going on? I do see some small hive beetles now. Yeah, fermented nectar in the middle. I don't know if that honey's, it looks like that honey may be oozing. Yeah, it's all fermenting. I don't see any small hive beetles in there, or larvae. Huh. No good. No good at all. Almost need to take all this stuff and freeze it all. I still see pollen coming in. Yeah, it's stinky. So it was fermentation that I was smelling. Look at that. It's almost moldy on the face of the frame. So it wasn't a lot of small hive beetles. There's no issues with that. See that right there? That was mold. I wonder if my condensation point was on my honey, or in or around my honey, and maybe the insulation, everything was condensating where the honey was because it was so big and cold. So this may be an instance where it's not good to have insulation. Maybe I had the wrong size colony set up for the amount of bees that we had. I'm going to shake out as much as I can. Now that we have the insulation off, we shouldn't have that much of a condensation issue. I wouldn't hope. Yes, I can't tell if it's condensation or fermentation. It's definitely some mold. That big old frame of honey. Looks like there's stuff running down it. I wonder if that's from above or if it's from the frame. That's a good amount of liquid there. Not good. Yeah, more mold in there in between the gaps. I do see some dead bees down there. They have not gotten them out. I'm still seeing pollen coming in though, so there may be a queen, there may be a chance. A little bit of hope. I mean, it's the right time of year. Hey, look at that, it's just, you can tell. I don't know, what would you do? Get all this stuff out? So much honey. A little bit of moisture coming out. I don't know, it's nuts. There's some dead bees in there. Just a handful. I am seeing a little bit of cappings that are torn off, so maybe getting robbed a little bit. Yeah, it's just moist. So I think some of these single deep management folks were saying this could be a concern because you got such a big space. Your dew point happens on all the honey stores. It makes me curious of what else we're going to run into these other hives. Stinky, stinky. I think for now I'm going to put it back together. Most of that shook out. Well, learn something new every day here. Yeah, that's man, it's not something I really want in the hive. It's just mold from the pollen, though. I don't see any wax moths or anything in it. For now, it's just going to go back in. Let's see what's going on up top. Ooh, I forgot which way I had that. It was this way. Uh-oh. Top popped off there. So I did see what looked like honey in one of these other boxes, so it's kind of got me curious if it really was honey. We will see. This is a case against the insulation. If that was the cause, again, if that was small hive beetles, I would expect to see larvae all over that. I'm not seeing it. I did see maybe one or two small hive beetles, but I think that's just whatever was open fermented. Maybe some of this other stuff did too. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Try to figure this out together. That is a woefully underpopulated hive, though, to be in a double deep. So, this screened upper cover, if you put tape over it and they cannot see anything, they propolize it shut. But if you leave it open, they sort of open and close it. I did close it so because I was doing oxalic acid vapors. Let me check who this is. Oh, that was a temperature alert from Hive 7. It was just telling me that it was fluctuation in temperature. And we obviously know that because we had it open. So You worry about putting frames that smell like that on something else. You don't want them to abscond. I don't see any small hive beetles. Nice propolis there. No queen up here. There is some what they're calling frosting. It's kind of a fresh wax. If there's a flow, usually you get that look of white, fresh cappings. I'll scrape this off just in case there's any. We were finding larvae in some of the other ones. Frame rest. Okay, so I feel that our hive is in this area. Man, if there's a queen in there, she's laying. She probably will need to be replacing. Oh wow, check this out. It's actually propolized shut between the frames. That's crazy. See if I can get a photo of that. Huh. I wonder why they did that. Unless it was where the opening was, maybe it was a little bit colder. Maybe that was where propolis jail. I don't know. Let's see that. Pulling this. I had to put a fresh battery in the camera there. I hope she's not laying on here. This is all drone comb, so wasting energy. I'm wondering if they're queenless. I don't know, they're bringing in pollen. See honey, open cells. There's pollen on these girls. There's just not a lot of bees on here. No queen on there. They may have lost their queen or something. There's still some in here. Stay optimistic here. Just quite the fermentation smell. Well, yeah. There's our queen right there. Just right here. She's not huge. They're putting pollen right around her. Larvae. So her problem is she's actually bound by all the honey. If it's all fermented, she has nowhere to lay because they have to eat through it to deal with it. And her little tiny brood patch looks okay. It looks healthy. Most of them are right next to each other, but let me see if I can get an empty comb to drop near here for her to lay in. Yeah, it's honey. There's eggs in there, there's larvae. There's not a lot of brood. Probably should just be a nuke, really. Wow, that's a lot of propolis. Almost feels like the hive tool is flexing. Okay, I mean, there's brood. It's not the best pattern. There are eggs in there. There's larvae. She's laid in almost all the eggs that she can. There are some fresh egg or fresh brood hatching out. See some young bees in here. All the larvae is nice and white. That's crazy. They got a little space. Stinky girls. it was any other time of year, I would probably think that breaking them down would be good. Just don't know if they even have enough bees to cover the brood that they have. There's eggs all in this space, nectar and pollen. Yeah, I think I don't know. This queen definitely needs to be replaced, or this hive really needs to be boosted. Don't like throwing good after bad, but if the population was higher, everything should be fine. I can't imagine that fermentation made all the numbers of bees drop. I think that's probably more of a queen problem. See, all that honey's fine. There's no fermentation. It's not wet. It's not moist. Same on that side. Everything up high is fine. Everything down low is the issue. The next one is just a full frame of capped honey. What to do? Yeah, it's all capped honey. They're not even messing with it because it's not fermenting. It's not an issue. Everything looks fine down there. Yeah, same there. Everything looks good. There's no sliminess. Same. So this top box is totally fine. The bottom box is the one that seems to have the issue. You should try to pry off that metal, and then I just pull back. Ooh. I don't know, what'd you do? I think a single deep would probably be the answer. There's no more insulation. I think I'm going to open the upper vent. Probably do lower vents. It's hard to say. Everything on the top box seems fine though. Just, there's probably a queen issue. What should I do? What should I do? I feel like I should just take that box off. That should be plenty for that size hive. And all that honey's fermented, but or some of it's fermented. How much is fermented? Let's bust them down to one. It's so heavy still. Oh gosh. Push it too hard. All right, setting these off. Maybe. What's happening? It's going. Why is it? I don't understand what's not breaking free. There it is. Come on. Come on. Why are you not breaking off? It's almost like the tape or the paint is not coming off. Just try this. Drop it onto that. There it is. All right. There we go. Okay. Yeah, some of this is wet and soggy. Can anybody tell me what's wrong with this 8-frame slatted rack? Give up? Or have you already guessed it? It's got 10 slats. I think when it was built, it was someone built it with all the parts of the 10 frame. Yeah, didn't realize it was supposed to be 8 slats. All right, 6. Now that you are reduced, let's see what you can do. Got faith in you, but maybe not in your queen. Oh. Okay. That is our hive. I am going to take a second and shake all the bees in here that are in the lower box. I don't even know if I want to shake them into there. Maybe I can just smoke them out. Let's try that. We'll just try to smoke them out. Looks like most of those were foragers, so they came out. Upper notch, open or closed? Keep it closed for now. See how much that had to do with the insulation. That was an issue. Hoping it's resolved. I need to set this somewhere. got some of these combs that had a little bit of fermentation on them. So what I'm going to do is, just using a very light garden spray, turn the pressure down. And I'm just going to rinse these. If anything is capped, it should remain capped. And anything that's possibly fermented hopefully will wash out of these combs. And then I'll shake these off in a little bit too. Shake, shake. And I'm going to leave these out dry a little bit. And I'll just work through all of them. This is one of the worst here. Like that bad on that side. There's a little bit of mold, but it's the pollen that got moldy. Again, we'll just rinse it. If any of it comes out, that'd be awesome. If not, then so we can just clean it, get the fermented honey out of there, or nectar. I don't think it's the honey, I think it's really the nectar. Sometimes I've heard that if you soak this, that'll loosen up and then you can just tap it out. But I think the time of year that we're dealing with, the bees are wanting to build up, so we'll probably clean this stuff out pretty quickly. And if you use too high of a pressure, you're going to bust the cappings on the honey and make the problem worse. So be mindful of what the end goal is. Alright, that's all I'm going to show. I'm going to go through the rest of these and let them air out and then inspect my other two hives. I was going to point out, there's pollen in there. The harder settings do work better to get those out. So loose enough, just don't hit the honey with this stuff. It'll perforate the capping. There's still some in there, but I got some out. Hopefully loosened it enough that the bees can help get it out. So there's still some in there, but we got some out. I'm actually going to try this one again with the jet setting on this nozzle. Got some out of there. Yeah, got some out, pushed some other ones out, but little plugs. Hopefully the bees can clear that out. I think getting the fermentation smell off of there is more important than spending a lot of time trying to deal with getting moldy pollen out, because they'll take care of it. Breezy day, so I'm going to let them dry. Flipping them all upside down because of the slope of the comb is naturally upward, so flip them down so hopefully the water can run out. I'll go ahead and inspect these other hives here. I have 1 and 3. Today's Monday too. I took off work a little early so I can get through these two. We got a 1 day cold snap that's going to be about 30 degrees. So I want to get through 1 and 3 in case I'm dealing with the same thing in some of those hives, so I can manage it. If everybody's doing fine, I may go ahead and split this up split these up, so 1, 2, 3. So put 2 frames in 4 hives. So I may go ahead and put triple deep on this and just get them growing crazy and building up. And same for 5. 4 is pretty good. It has some small hive beetles, so hopefully 1 and 3 are in good shape. And then maybe we can get this comb on there so they can clean it out, start getting it back into use, and then also maybe drawing some foundation for us. I do have some more drawn comb, but I don't want to use it unless I absolutely need to. I'm gonna go on hive 1, hive 5, hive 7. 5 has more honey on it, so they're the ones that need the stores. This one has some honey, but the ones that had a little fermentation had a lot of drawn out but not filled. This has a good mix of both, but there's only 2, and then the drawn out and then foundation. Drawn out, foundation, drawn out, and then foundation. So maybe if they've got a little extra energy, they can put it towards that, and then I'm giving them extra honey so I don't have to feed anybody. And hopefully we got all that fermentation smell out of there. It seemed very mild. The one with pollen, it's the only one I still had a little bit of a smell to. Hopefully we're putting that one with a little bit of mold on hive 7, which is the biggest hive, so hopefully they'll have enough bees to take care of that and clean it out. I'll go ahead and do that real quick.